evening. Welcome to the BnL sampler number 2 for me. I'm Samuel Sly. Yeah, at this point you should know what the fuck's going on. Tonight I will be sampling 3 fine lagers from classic brands that was kind of an unofficial battle of the Midwest of sorts. We have Old Style, a product of Chicago, Illinois. And then we have Hamm's of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and also Schlitz of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So it's going to be a 2-on-1 dog pile of Milwaukee on Chicago. And let's be honest, Milwaukee could take Chicago any day of the week because Chicago sucks. Unlike my counterpart Pete, I am not going to resort to low blows, and I think anyone that saw his last video know he is a no-class slob without any production value anyway. I, on the other hand, have opening music, titles, and a very fancy hat. In the world of us trying to establish who's who, I think we all just know who is who. Normally I'd propose a lesson, but fuck learning. I am going to sample these beers. We're going to start with Chicago and see what they have to offer, since they are my favorite city on the planet. So yes, okay. Very nice. It's a can. So as we can see, the lighting in here is goddamn terrible, but like any other light lager worth its money, it looks very much like piss. The aroma, on the other hand, smells like a frat house with a little less rape in it. Cheers to you, Old Style. Normally we do a lot more pomp and circumstance, but why bother anymore? Oh my god, my entire stomach just filled up with foam. I really thought I was going to finish that. So it smells and tastes almost identical. Oh my god. Oh, that was close. It makes me think this one time I was drinking Miller Lite, a skateboard deck with a little tiny snowboard underneath it, ramming my head into a pile of snow. And that's basically how this beer tastes to me. It tastes like a concussion. I thought maybe after it breathed a little bit, we might get some other notes of other things, and there are no other things and no other notes. Let's see what else the can has to say. It's a traditional lager, 12 fluid ounces. Chicago's beer, I might add. They don't give any other information. Except for it is brewed by Hamm Brewing Company in Milwaukee. What the fuck? I should have done my research beforehand. Old Style is a Chicago beer now brewed in Milwaukee. And this is still made by Hamm's Brewing Company in Milwaukee. This is by Schlitz Brewing Company in Milwaukee. Chicago style is Old Style. We should run from Chicago very fast, very far. I'm sorry to all my friends in Chicago. You know I love you. And I love staying with you in Chicago for free. Ooh! As Pete introduced last time, and he made me come to realize the one thing he did do right is cleansing his palate between beers. What we have here is J.P. Weiser's Rye blended Canadian whiskey. And this ought to eliminate any trace of whatever I just drank. Yeah. So, hello Canada. And rye whiskey is whiskey made with rye, I guess. I don't know anything about whiskey. Oh, damn it. Cheers. Oh! Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, that was terrible. There was almost vomit. I should have just stuck with Jaeger. Okay, well, that was intriguing and enlightening. Let's see what the Hamm's has to offer, shall we? Okay, Sam, let's do that. Labels out, don't be an idiot. I feel like this is a slightly darker color piss than the old style was. Which leads me to believe this is of higher quality, and therefore greater value, because the Hamm's was actually much cheaper. I would go over the price per ounce like I did before, but I think we all figured out that I can't do math, sober or drunk, so... Hey, Whiskey, how you doing? Okay, already not going to do as much as the last one. My stomach is fragile. Oh, ooh, that tastes like popcorn. This is better than the old style, in my opinion. It's a little bit smoother, somehow. It's got just a bit more of a not shitty flavor to it. Slightly more body and mouthfeel to it, but that is like comparing, I don't know, to water. Let's go to the can, shall we? This is America's classic premium beer, born in the land of sky blue waters. Apparently that's Milwaukee. From purest water and choicest barley malt, grain, and hops. I don't believe for a second that there are actually hops in this beer. Usual government warning that if you are pregnant, you should not be drinking this, and it impairs your ability to drive a car or operate machinery and may cause health problems. Yes, beer causes fucking health problems. By health problems, they mean diarrhea. So this one's not going down nearly as well as the first one, and I'm going to blame the old style on that, because there's no way it could have been the palate cleanser. Oops, label wasn't out. That's poor performance. Ugh. We've all heard of old style Hamms and Schlitz, even if it wasn't folklore. But, you know, back in the 1800s, early 1900s, these guys were some of the biggest breweries in the States. And back then, they wore crazy little hats like this. So my hat is suddenly relevant. So fuck you, Pete. I have relevancy hats. You don't have credits. Oh, if I'm not going to be a gentleman, I might as well just finish this beer then, shall I? Or not finish it. Oh, yeah. The palate must be cleansed. It is evil, and it needs cleansing. Cleanse the palate. Oh, Jesus. Well, let's pour this Schlitz. Why wait? Palate is cleansed? Palate is cleansed, and let's move on. There's something funny about this. And my information may be totally wrong, because I do not believe in research at all. This original recipe, that's now their new recipe, that's their original recipe, that's the new recipe. It was mostly available that first year in Chicago. Chicago's beer, which is now made in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Hamm's, which is not fucking around about being a Milwaukee, Wisconsin beer. Then we have Schlitz. That was a beer that made Milwaukee famous. I mean, that's Blatz. Anyway, Schlitz is a Milwaukee beer. Always was a Milwaukee beer. Was re-released in Chicago. Well, I think there's a whole conspiracy in there. There is some butt fucking. They're close enough. Could totally happen. Tiptoeing across the fucking yard to your neighbor's house. It's like... But it's a chick, so you don't say, hey, dude. You're like, hey, girl. There's some shit going on there, I think. There's some collusion, possibly some conspiracy, maybe some butt sex. Looks to be on par with the Hamm's, I'd say, possibly. This has a very distinct, unique flavor than both of these. I mean, they've all had different flavors, but it's far and away very different from both of these. Like, you could assume the same dog shit out that turd. It might just be that turd was shit out on Monday and this turd was shit out on Tuesday. Feces has chemistry. So, you know, they're two different kinds of turds. This turd came from a cat. I can tell you that right now. So again, with the breathing, no additional thoughts on aroma. I don't even care anymore. Fuck it. I'm drinking it. My stomach is full of booze and palate cleansers. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? My final thoughts. These are all great beers. A cheap, low-down, dirty option. These are all terrible. Schlitz was the least terrible. Hamm's was the second least terrible. And Old Style was the most terrible. Chicago beer from Wisconsin, and then 2 Wisconsin beers, 1 from Chicago, or that was released in Chicago after the fact. Classy hat. I may or may not have puked. I'm never going to tell. Fuck you, Pete. I don't puke. I'm not looking for internet love in the puke. Thanks for watching this edition of the BnL Sampler from Sam Sly. I'm a classy dude, so enjoy my credits.
Oh my God, when I saw you standing there.